Life does not favor the one who waits for miracles or luck. It favors the one who shows up every day and does the work. If you want to stand out, if you want to reach heights unknown, you must be willing to outwork everyone. Not because you want to defeat others, but because you want to transcend your own limitations. Talent is a guest that visits many but stays with few. What truly transforms your life is the effort you put in day after day, hour after hour. It is not the grand gestures or the sudden bursts of energy that shape your destiny, but the quiet, persistent dedication to your craft. When the world sleeps, when distractions call, and when your mind tells you to rest, this is the time to rise and outwork all those who have not dared to go this far. Remember, the struggle you face within is the heaviest burden, but also the greatest gift. It is your mind that resists effort. It will try to convince you to take shortcuts, to settle for less. But if you can learn to look beyond this inner resistance, if you can anchor yourself in discipline and action, life will respond with growth, success and fulfillment. Success is not a spectacle. It is born in the silent hours when no one is watching. It is in those moments that your real character is built. To outwork everyone means to commit to your own growth so deeply that no obstacle can sway you. This is not a competition with the world but a dance with your own potential. So rise early, push hard and work tirelessly, because those who outwork everyone do not just achieve their goals, they become the architects of their own destiny. And that in itself is freedom. Effort is the silent seed from which mastery grows, a force that often goes unnoticed but is always present beneath the surface of greatness. Without effort, even the brightest spark of talent flickers and dies in the winds of distraction and doubt. It is the steady, patient pouring of energy into practice that transforms raw ability into refined skill. Each moment of work, no matter how small or repetitive, carries within it the power to build something enduring, something real. Mastery is not a sudden gift handed down by fortune or fate. It is the result of countless moments when the individual chooses to stay committed rather than give up. It is in the repetition of the act, in the willingness to endure failure and frustration, that mastery slowly weaves itself into the fabric of the being. No one masters a craft by accident or by waiting for inspiration to strike. It is the relentless movement forward, the daily return to the task that shapes the path. The mind often craves ease and comfort. It shies away from effort as if it were a burden. But the body and spirit understand a deeper truth. Through effort, they grow stronger, more resilient and more capable. Effort is the language through which the self communicates with the universe, declaring its intention to rise beyond current limitations and to become something greater. It is the bridge between who you are and who you aspire to be. When effort becomes habitual, it no longer feels like a chore but like a natural rhythm, a pulse that drives you even when motivation fades. This consistency is the heartbeat of mastery, the steady drum that keeps the journey alive through storms of doubt and waves of distraction. It is in these moments of perseverance that character is forged, a character not easily shaken by failure or swayed by success. Mastery demands more than talent, it demands presence and attention, a willingness to immerse oneself fully in the process. Effort sharpens the senses and deepens awareness, revealing nuances that were previously invisible. It is through this deep engagement that the practitioner begins to understand the subtle interplay between mind, body and the task at hand, and through this understanding true mastery unfolds. There is no shortcut on the road to mastery, no substitute for the hours spent in diligent practice. Every great achievement, no matter how brilliant it appears, stands on a foundation of unseen effort. The struggle, the sweat, the countless small failures are all part of the mosaic that creates excellence. Without this foundation, greatness remains fragile, a passing shadow rather than a lasting flame. To embrace effort is to accept a certain humility, acknowledging that mastery is a journey without a final destination. It is a constant unfolding, a lifelong dance of learning and refinement. Each step forward uncovers new challenges, new depths to explore, new opportunities to grow. The moment you cease to put in effort, mastery begins to fade, slipping away like water through your fingers. Effort is not punishment or toil, it is a sacred act of creation, the very heartbeat of mastery itself. It transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary ones and leads you to a place where your skill becomes a living expression of your deepest self. And so effort must be honored, cultivated and embraced, for it is the foundation upon which all true mastery stands, steady and unyielding, ever growing in its silent power. Discipline is the quiet force that holds the fabric of progress together, a steady current beneath the flashy waves of inspiration that come and go like passing storms. Because inspiration, while powerful and uplifting, is unpredictable and fragile, flickering for moments and then fading away into the vastness of time, leaving the work undone and the goals distant. It is discipline, the daily commitment to action, that transforms the sparks of inspiration into a sustained flame, a flame that lights the way forward. Even when motivation wavers and enthusiasm runs dry, when you depend solely on inspiration, you are at the mercy of circumstances beyond your control, waiting for a burst of energy or an emotional high to propel you. But discipline is a decision, a vow you make to yourself to show up and do the work regardless of how you feel, no matter the obstacles or distractions that crowd your path. Because true growth does not come from sporadic effort, but from the steady, unrelenting rhythm of consistent practice. This is the difference between those who dream and those who achieve, between fleeting fantasies and lasting reality. Discipline requires a deep understanding that the process itself is the goal, that each daily action, no matter how small or mundane, contributes to a larger transformation. And in this understanding, discipline becomes not a burden, but a sacred trust you place in yourself, a way of honoring your vision even when the excitement has faded. It is in these moments of quiet persistence when no one is watching and no applause follows, that the foundation for success is laid brick by brick, day by day. The mind often resists discipline because it prefers ease, comfort and distraction, always seeking to avoid the effort that discipline demands. But if you can cultivate discipline, you teach your mind and body a new way of being, a way that does not depend on fleeting feelings but on commitment and integrity. Discipline molds the mind into a tool that serves your purpose rather than a tyrant that holds you hostage to your whims. And in this way, discipline is the master key that opens the door to mastery and freedom. Daily action sustained by discipline creates momentum, and momentum, once built, carries you forward with less resistance, like a river that carves its path through solid rock over time, because the consistent flow of disciplined effort erodes obstacles and creates new possibilities. Inspiration can ignite the flame, but only discipline can keep it burning, warming your journey and lighting the dark corners where dreams often get lost. The beauty of discipline is that it is available to everyone, regardless of talent or circumstance, and it does not discriminate between those who are gifted and those who struggle. It rewards only those who persist, who choose to rise each day and meet their commitments with humility and resolve. Discipline transforms ordinary people into extraordinary beings because it cultivates patience and resilience, qualities that no burst of inspiration alone can provide. When discipline governs your daily actions, the results begin to compound, and what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable, because discipline builds a structure that supports your growth even on days when your spirit is weary and your motivation is absent. In this way, discipline is the silent architect of your destiny, the unseen hand that shapes your future through countless small choices made consistently over time. Therefore, to embrace discipline is to embrace the true nature of progress, which is slow, steady and often invisible, surpassing the bright but brief flashes of inspiration that dazzle but do not sustain. And in this daily dedication lies the secret to lasting success, transformation and fulfillment, because discipline is not just about work. It is about honoring the journey, trusting the process, and knowing that greatness is born from the unwavering commitment to show up again and again no matter… Outworking others is often misunderstood as a race against those around you, as if success depends on surpassing others in a contest of strength or skill. But in truth, it is a deeply personal journey rooted in the commitment you make to yourself, a promise to honor your potential and to cultivate the best version of who you are without measuring your worth against the achievements of others. Because the true competitor is always the self that resists growth and shirks effort. When you shift your focus from external competition to internal commitment, the nature of your work changes. It becomes an act of devotion rather than a battle for supremacy. And this devotion fuels persistence and passion in ways that rivalry never can. When your effort is driven by love for your own growth and integrity, it creates a foundation of strength that no external challenge can shake or diminish. Outworking yourself means waking up each day with the intention to push beyond yesterday's limits, not to outshine someone else, but to outgrow your own fears, doubts and complacency. And in this continuous self-transcendence lies the essence of progress, because the real challenge is not the person standing beside you, but the voice within that tells you to stop, to settle or to be less than you are capable of becoming when your work is fueled by commitment to self. Every obstacle transforms into a teacher, every failure becomes a lesson, And every moment of discomfort is an invitation to deepen your resolve. Because this path is less about proving something to the world and more about cultivating the inner strength necessary to walk through life with purpose and dignity. Competition can breed anxiety, comparison and distraction. But commitment to yourself cultivates focus, peace and clarity, allowing you to channel your energy toward what truly matters and to engage fully with your work without the burden of comparison. Because when your eyes are fixed on your own journey, you are free to explore your unique path and to blossom according to your own rhythm. And timing. Outworking others in this sense is not a measure of speed or quantity, but of quality and consistency in your dedication to your craft and your growth. Because it is through steady, mindful effort that you build a life aligned with your deepest values and aspirations. Rather than one dictated by external expectations of fleeting trends, this commitment to yourself requires honesty, humility and courage, as it asks you to face your weaknesses without judgment and to persist even when the rewards are not immediate or visible. Because the true reward lies in the transformation that takes place within and in the quiet confidence that grows when you know you have given your fullest, regardless of the outcome. So remember, outworking others is not about beating someone else. It is about honoring the sacred trust you place in yourself to live with integrity and purpose, to stretch beyond your current limits, and to cultivate a life that reflects your highest potential, a life with potential, shaped not by competition, but by the unwavering commitment to become the person you were always meant to be. Such is not the dazzling spotlight that the world admires, but the quiet work done in the solitude of early mornings and late nights, when no applause comes and no eyes watch. Because it is in these silent hours that the seeds of achievement are planted deep within the soil of persistence and dedication, where distractions fade and only the task remains worthy of attention. In the silence where others rest or seek comfort, others who succeed choose to show up again and again, embracing the loneliness of effort because they understand that greatness is not gifted but earned through sweat and resilience in moments unseen and uncelebrated by the crowd, who only witnesses the final outcome and not the countless invisible steps that led there. It is easy to be seduced by the allure of instant success or the glamour of public recognition, but real success is a patient and humble process that unfolds slowly as the quiet work compounds, invisible to most but profoundly shaping the future through consistent actions that build strength, skill, and wisdom beyond the reach of fleeting fame. The world often mistakes the highlight reel for the whole story, failing to see the countless hours spent practicing, learning, failing and rising in silence. And yet it is precisely this unseen labor that forms the foundation on which every achievement stands firm and unshakable. Because the depth of your effort is measured in the moments no one notices. In these quiet hours, distractions lose their power and focus sharpens into a blade that cuts through doubt and lethargy, allowing the mind and body to work in harmony toward a single purpose, transforming ordinary moments into sacred opportunities for growth and mastery. As the noise of the outside world fades into insignificance, this silent dedication creates a space where the self is tested and refined, where patience becomes a companion and perseverance a way of life. Because when no one is watching, the choices you make reveal your true character, showing whether you are willing to commit to the process or abandon it. At the first sign of difficulty, success born in silence is not boastful or loud. It does not seek validation or applause, but it carries within it a quiet power and profound satisfaction that only those who have walked the path in solitude can understand. Because the greatest victories are often the ones celebrated only within the heart, nurtured in the depths of persistence and faith. So if you desire success that lasts beyond the fleeting moments of recognition, learn to honor the silent hours, embrace the invisible work, and cultivate a love for the process itself. Because in this sacred space of quiet effort, success is born, grows, and flourishes far beyond what the eyes can see or the world can measure. The mind is a master of comfort and illusion, always seeking the easiest path and resisting the demands that effort places upon it, whispering doubts and excuses that pull you away from growth and persistence. Because the mind fears discomfort and prefers the safety of familiarity, yet this resistance is not a sign to stop, but a signal that you are approaching a threshold of transformation. While the mind recoils, the body knows a different truth. It thrives in movement and challenge, growing stronger and more capable when pushed beyond perceived limits. Because every drop of sweat, every ache and every breath taken in exertion builds resilience and vitality that the mind alone cannot comprehend or value until it witnesses the body's progress. Life itself responds to effort in mysterious and profound ways. opening doors that once seemed sealed, and presenting opportunities that reward those who persist despite inner resistance, because effort is a language that the universe understands as a declaration of intent and commitment. Stirring forces that align circumstances in your favor, this tension between the mind's reluctance and the body's readiness is where true growth happens. As you learn to listen without yielding, to push through mental barriers and doubt, and to anchor yourself in the deeper knowing that effort leads to reward even when immediate results seem absent or slow to appear. The mind may urge you to rest or to take shortcuts, but the body's gradual transformation is undeniable evidence of the power of persistent work, reminding you that your limits are often illusions built by fear and habit, and that beyond the discomfort lies strength, endurance, and a vitality that reshapes your experience of life itself. Effort teaches you patience and humility as you realize that progress is not always visible or dramatic, but unfolds quietly in the cells, the muscles, and the rhythms of your body, and this embodied change ripples outward, affecting your confidence, clarity, and ability to engage with the world more fully and joyfully. When you embrace the struggle, honoring the mind's resistance without surrendering to it, you unlock a deeper alignment where body and life begin to reward your persistence with energy and opportunities that enrich your journey and deepen your sense of purpose. Because effort is a sacred conversation between who you are and who you are becoming. So learn to move beyond the mind's resistance, trust the body's wisdom, and recognize that life itself conspires in favor of effort, rewarding those who are willing to walk the path of discipline and courage. Because the resistance you face is simply the doorway to a greater version of yourself, waiting to be born through persistent action